So Nigel, we're out in Cambridgeshire at the moment, and I suppose we're out with you today because I got on to Andrew from Wolseley because they hire the Holmer chaser bin off you during the summer for harvest, and that's actually been out today alongside your beet harvester. How long have you been beet harvesting?
As a family, we've been doing it for sort of like 2 generations. My father used to do it. He wasn't a farmer, he's the first generation farmer, and to get started he was a council tenant, and then to supplement his income did beet harvesting with single row machines at that time. So we're sort of like been in it for 2 generations really, but myself, I've been doing it on the farm since I was 21. So yeah, 35 years.
Yeah, so you can really see the progression since then from a single row harvester to what you're running now.
We ended up going with Mr. Holmer's brand as it was then. Holmer produced a fantastic machine and always have done, with great service, great technical backup, and at that time a great residual value. So we went along that road, got on very well. Holmer brand, unfortunately Mr. Holmer didn't have any family to take the business over, so he eventually was bought out by Excel, which is where they are now. But their development of the machine has always been fantastic. They're progressive, they're at the forefront of what they're doing. They are, in my view, the best machine on the market. But very complicated machine and very expensive to run.
Definitely, because personally, this is my first time seeing a sugar beet harvester in operation, and it's obviously a big area for sugar beet.
Yeah. Biggest area in the country here. We're obviously next to Wissington Beet Factory. It's the biggest sugar beet factory in Europe, and obviously the biggest factory of British Sugars factories. So we have a degree of security there in the fact that if the sugar industry fails in any way, the Wissington factory is most likely to be the last one to go. We're within 24 miles from the factory here, so and a soil type that is conducive to growing sugar beet. So it is a hotbed historically of sugar beet growing really. We've always been progressive in what we do. We always try to think that we offer the best equipment that you can get. The Terra variant obviously better on the soil, better for me. I can run the harvester more efficiently with the Terra variant than I can with a trailer. The Terra variant takes one whole load of the harvester, so that works well. Trailers, even though our other trailer that runs with our other Grimmer harvester is a self-design built by Larrington, but to my specification, it's for me it's the best trailer on the market. It's hydraulic suspension, steering axles, all these sorts of things. It's still nowhere near as efficient as running it with the Terra variant.
No, but I suppose that's exactly what they're built for.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's quick. You know, we can do 25, 30 kilometres an hour under nearly all conditions, safely, with 20 tonnes of sugar beet on there. So, and that's what it's all about these days. It's all about keeping these machines running as best you can.
In fairness, considering there had been rain the previous night and there had been, we'll say, a little bit of drizzle yesterday morning, that Holmer, she was well able for those conditions even in that black soil. Yeah,
no, I mean, to be honest, yes, what you're seeing, it looks wet, but actually here, our annual rainfall, I think, is on average 524, so just over half a metre. And yeah, we are well down. It's very dry underneath, so any rain we got, it looks messy, but actually it's really quite dry
compared to usual. And see, the Holmer harvester that you're running, she's 5 seasons you've had her now?
Yeah, that machine's done 5 seasons, yeah. Had it since new. We have bought second-hand machines in the past. We generally try to run a system where we can renew. Develops in the industry are, especially Holmer, every time they bring out a new machine, it is considerable leap forward in what they're doing. For example, they're the only machine on the market that have independent row depth. So each row on that machine senses its depth individually.
Right.
So row 3 can be lower than row 2, and equally so. And they've got a patent on that design, and they're the only machine on the market that has that. And that's through development really. So the next one will have even more. So we always try and buy new if we can. But obviously it's economics and trying to make it pay and everything else. So hence our method of running our business is we buy a machine new, we do 90% of the maintenance ourselves, so we know the machine in and out. We try to run it till economically it's not viable to run it any longer. So 5 is generally the year. Might be in our case we might run that one more. So 5, maximum of 6 is what we'll do. By that time we've lost most of the residual value in the machine. If you explain the business, if you like, model of this job and explained it to any other industry, they would say, what are you doing? Well, you've got a job to know when to stop, but yeah, we'll see how it gets on. We'll keep trying.
The Terra variant, I mentioned earlier that Waldersley take that on for grain.
Yep.
Is it a big job switching it from the likes of the grain bunker to the beet bunker?
We've only done it twice, so we're gaining experience all the time. I think it's about 2 hours. It's not too bad at all, to be honest. And obviously the Terra variant can be used for a multitude of things. We haven't managed to develop anything apart from the 2 jobs we use it for, and it would be nice to do that, because then we could probably think about investing in a newer model and whatever, but we're not. Well, I don't think we're quite near there yet, but yeah, it's been very successful. Economically, it doesn't work unless we can use it for a longer period of time, and we get about 200-ish hours on there with the grain bunker, but without that, just using it for sugar beet wouldn't financially stack up. So yeah, at the minute it's going quite well. We should be into season 3 with it next year, and then obviously we should really see, because then we should start having some repair costs and some bills, and then we shall see how it all works.
Yeah, that's where it starts to hit the pocket.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a learning curve.
But alongside that as well, you've got a couple of the older JCB fast tracks.
Yeah.
They were out yesterday drawn, because I think the Terra variant was out elsewhere.
Yeah.
But behind you have an 8330, but yesterday you had an 8310, I think it was, and an 8280. So it's great to see the older models drawn along with the trailers, which, as you previously said, one of which you designed.
Yep.
So any particular reason why you went for the likes of a JCB?
A difficult one, really. I'm not a big fan of new tractors. I don't find them reliable. I don't see where the extra expense of them has been justified in there. For me, it's about reliability, it's about longevity, it's about being able to justify the cost of the tractor. The JCBs, I like the Sisu engine in them, always been very good, very reliable, and even though I think the 2 have got 11 plates, I think, the older ones, if you stood them in the yard and the guys came out and went to say jump in a tractor, they would still jump in one of those. There will be people who've had trouble with them, but on a personal level, we've never had big trouble with them. And I think the biggest thing is the operators love driving them. So the cab is big, it's comfortable, plenty of power. If somebody likes driving it, that's half the deal, really.
How difficult would it be to drive the likes of that Holmer beet harvester? Because looking at all the moving parts, it looks like it could be quite interesting to drive.
I could teach you to drive it in half a day.
Right.
But there's a difference between being able to drive it
and operating it.
and operate. There's a lot more to being a good operator, and we have 2 and other people, you know, I can drive them and everything else, but we have 2 full-time very good operators. Mark obviously drives the Holmer, and Olwen who drives the Grimmer. They've been in the job a long while, they know the job. We lift on a lot of different soil types, from the sooty black you've seen to the heavy clays and to stony land, and we do a lot of different soil types. Hence why you've got to have a machine that can adapt to anything, and the Holmer will do virtually anything. Physically to drive, and that's one of the benefits. When I first started driving harvesters, you used to manually steer them, manually drive them, everything levers, you know what I mean. You do a 10-hour day, 11-hour day on one of those, and you're tired, you know, because it's a physical experience driving it. These machines now, you know, once you're set up and you've got everything going, it does everything for you, really. The hardest job is actually the guy who's on the Terra variant or the JCB or whatever, because that's still a fairly physical job. The Holmer especially, and the Grimmer, once you get them set up, they're very comfortable things to drive. You can hear the radio, you know what I mean. You don't have to steer. The steering's very good. It's automatic steering, it's automatic depth control. So yes, I could teach you to drive it, but to actually physically be a good operator takes several years of experience, like everything, you know. Yeah, so, but yeah, it's a lot easier to drive than the old ones, that's for sure. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you'd hope it would be after a few years of different.
Yeah. I always remember that's part of the reason I can't hear this here, because we used to have a French machine called a Metro. They're not made anymore.
Is that because they deafen people?
Yeah, and we used to have literally, I'll be sitting in here and there'd be a V8 there, yeah, and you're just roaring at you all day, and yeah, that's why I can't hear really. So,
well, that's absolutely brilliant, Nigel. Thanks a million for having me out over the last couple of days. I know
Pleasure.
it was kind of wet yesterday, but it has been a beautiful day today at least.
yeah. No, anytime.
So it's great to see the beet machine working so well.
Yeah, anytime during the year or anything you want to come see, you're more than welcome.
Perfect. Thank you very much.